Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. I am president of Ninja Coaching. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you so much for engaging. We so appreciate it. You are in for a treat, my friends, because I have two very special people here with me. I'm going to introduce them first. I'm going to start with Christine Moore. Christine is one of our Ninja Coaching clients. She is a world-class person, a world-class realtor. Christine, you are from Austin, Texas, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure. I'm also here with Tracy Peterson Nienaber. She is Christine's coach. She is one of our certified Ninja coaches. Tracy, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on. I so appreciate it. And I am so excited to have Christine on the podcast. If you remember, Christine was on the podcast it was a podcast dated April 5th, 2024. So if you haven't listened to it, you need to go back and listen to it. You do, because it's super powerful. And we had such wonderful response from, we're going to give you a download of what happened, but also just personally and professionally, Christine, you spoke your story and you just resonated with so many people. So we knew that we needed to have you back on. She's gone through some business and personal developments, and we wanted to keep the audience abreast and let them know what's been going on in your world. So I think where the first thing we need to start with is, Christine, if you're cool with that, why don't we kind of catch people up as to before the April 5th recording of the podcast, what was going on in your life, business-wise and also personal-wise?
Right. So for me, really, just in Cliff Notes version, I did a Ninja installation in 2020 with Larry, loved it, read the book, but really wasn't making any traction. And so finally decided to get a Ninja coach. And that's where you came in and changed my life. And, my business was a 5 million business. And then last year it was an $18 million business. But another part of that has just meant it's also changed my life. And I used Ninja to I went through all my friends. I got all new friends. I really lasered in on what are my 4 pillars and what are the areas that I focus on, and just got really focused. And I have a really strong foundation. And that sounds very easy, but I was going through a lot of things. My son had mold toxicity and couldn't walk, and we had to remediate our house. We were also going through a major remodel. My husband was going through some crazy stuff. And then my other son, we found out, had a potentially fatal heart condition. And so we were dealing with all of these things. And the one consistent thing was Ninja and implementing Ninja. So that's really where we were at last time. And I did a lot of work on mindset.
You did.
Yeah.
It was an amazing story, and I'm so glad that you've kind of caught us up to where we are today. So like I said, please go back and listen to the April 5th podcast. It was great, but that is it in a nutshell. But that's not really why we had you come back on to revisit that. It is that you've had some major, major developments in your life. And I would say, let's talk first about, you've had a phenomenal 2024 already. Like, you have been ranked 393 out of 150,000 agents in Texas. She is a single agent with a TC and no assistant.
I mean, that's amazing, if I could just interject, especially given everything that you have happening. Bravo to you and that success, especially because lumped in with all those people in that ranking would be teams and teams large and small. And there you are on your own doing this. It's fabulous, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wake up every day and be very focused. And that's where Ninja comes in. I even have the Ninja 9 taped on my desk, and I've got my time blocking taped on my desk. So staying focused helps me.
Yep. Staying focused. She's also studied for her broker. I say studied because you did study, but let's talk about this. You studied to get your broker's license. And I remember you said to me, oh my gosh, I don't even have time to study. I don't know about this. I said, just sign up, take the test. Let's just see what happens. And guess what? On the first try, what happened?
I did, and I passed.
She passed it. And this year is shaping up to be a great year numbers wise for you. So if you're comfortable, do you mind sharing a little bit about where your numbers are right now? And let's note, Austin, Texas is a tough market right now.
It's a really tough market right now. We've had a tremendous increase in inventory, 40% year over year in terms of active listings. Prices have gone down. So it's definitely a more challenging market. But at this point, I'm at 14 million. My goal is 25, but I had a little bit of a snafu, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I'm still confident that I can get there because if you work the system works. And that is my plan.
And I would say a testament to you is that your numbers are great. We'll get into the personal stuff. But you even had an executive at Compass use you as her agent.
I did. I helped her buy and sell a house. And I'm finding that my clients, I don't want to say quality because they're all wonderful, but there seems to be a shift in the type of clients I'm getting. And I'm starting to get more referrals from my clients for high net worth individuals, which is one of my goals. So I'm starting to see subtle changes, and I'm really grateful for that.
If I can interject, that's a sign of a true ninja. And one thing we see that's pretty common as through ninja and the work on mindset, as we elevate just our perception or belief about ourselves, we start to attract even higher caliber clients to us. So that just tells me and tells us that you're really committed to the ninja system and process, especially as it relates to mindset.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. TSW, right?
That's right.
So the reason why I had you on too is that you had some other things go on in your personal life.
Yeah.
That have been, like you so lightly said, a snafu. It's not a snafu. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to share the story.
So I started off the year. Everything's going great. Had the best, start to the year, best spring I've ever had. Everything's going along great. And yet I'm still staying true to the 4 parts of my brand. And one of those was teen heart health. So my other son, like I mentioned, had a heart issue. And so got involved in the heart community and was invited to go meet with members of Congress to talk about some funding that would help increase the number of pediatric specialists because there really is a shortage here in America. Anyways, when I was in Washington, D.C. with my son, I'm doing that and work is busy. As I'm landing on back from Washington, D.C., I get a text from my husband and he's like, I am going to send you some bad news right now. So the first thing I thought was, oh no, we have another water leak. But actually, no, it was much worse. He said our son's heart stopped, our 14-year-old Beckett. And he said he's in an ambulance and I'm not sure anything else.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I just went, oh, we had gotten him checked. When the other son had his heart issue, we got the other 2 kids checked. Everything was great. And so I'm thinking, okay, how do we do this? So anyways, in a nutshell, he was on a ventilator for a day and a half, and then he was in the cardiac ICU for 5 days. After 9 days, he left, and he has a defibrillator and a pacemaker, and we don't know why. But when I was in the hospital, there's a lot of ways you can react. And, ninja is in my head, if you guys can't tell. I'm like, I can be a victim or I can be a player right now. And just started asking the doctors when they would come in, what can I do to help? How can we make sure this doesn't happen to other kids? Or, what do you guys need? And asking the nurses, how can I add value? And then, you start seeing the same people. And I noticed myself asking Ford questions, but I'm not asking, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? Just really getting to know a lot of these people. And I'm starting to learn that we actually have some similar paths and things that, I didn't realize. And so, really connected with a lot of the doctors. And we're doing a lot of work together now, which I'll go into a minute. But when I was in the hospital, the other thing is I'm so used to waking up and doing my Ninja 5 right away. That's my routine. And, even though I slept at the hospital for 9 days and I didn't have all my stuff, I thought, I can do the gratitudes in my head. So that's what I'm doing. I can do my affirmations in my head. And I don't have pen and paper to write thank you notes to people, but you know what? I'm going to start sending notes. And the other thing I did was I realized I'm in the middle of a massively traumatic event and I may not remember everything. So I started keeping lists of all the people I wanted to thank. We were receiving gifts. Doctors were doing different things for us and employees that I thought I might not remember. And so I have a huge long list. And to this day, I'm still going back and writing thank you notes to all those people. And I just love that Ninja in this time of crisis, and this wasn't even a work crisis. This is like a massive personal crisis. Ninja is getting me through it. And, I heard from a lot of people that I hadn't heard from in a long time. And now I've reached back out to connect. But one thing that really stood out to me, and this is why I'm so hardcore Ninja, is I had, a lot of buyers and sellers, and I had multiple clients text me and say, hey, you know what? Don't worry. We'll resume our search when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is crazy. They don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks, 2 months, and they're saying, we're going to work on your schedule.
Yes.
There are a million other realtors they could call. And that's when I realized, what, when you do this and you provide that value, it pays off, And so that's just something I just keep remembering, the days when I want to be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an amazing story. Maybe first things first, how is your son now?
He's fine. He starts high school this week.
Oh, that is
Yes.
good news.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I just can't even believe it, to be honest, because that was 7 weeks ago.
Right. Thank you for sharing this story, by the way, and so inspiring, amazing. One of the many reasons I love this story is that so often we come across people who find a reason to stop doing the Ninja 9 because something comes up in their life. And this is an extreme example of a time where someone kept doing what they still could do, even in the face of something really, really hard happening. So we oftentimes see people who are not facing something so extreme and find it to be an excuse to stop doing all of the Ninja 9, where there you were in the hospital thinking about, okay, what could I still keep doing to keep my business and life going forward? How could I still be a ninja, even though this is happening? And I mean, just amazing outcomes came from that. And I can only imagine that just the positive impact that had on the doctors, the nurses, the whole staff, your son, all the way around. So I love this. So for anyone out there who is tempted to stop because something comes up in their life, just put it in comparison, put it in perspective to what Christine faced here.
Yeah. And I mean, that was only phase 1. Now we're on to phase 2. Now I'm out of the hospital. It's 7 weeks. And I already had so much passion about teen heart health, and now that's exponential. But, I really thought about in the Ninja book when Larry tells the story about an amazing ninja, and he became very passionate about riding bikes. We're always trying to find our thing and our passions. And he mentioned this, and it's only 3 sentences in the book, but he talks about how this ninja decided to really get involved in biking, and he was invited to be the bike club president. And the guy thought, well, it'll be 10% of my time. It'll be worth it. But his business dropped 50%. And so as I'm going through this journey and I really want to give back, I keep reminding myself, do I want to be the bike club president? And so I have a whole bunch of new things planned for my community. We're doing multiple CPR trainings. We're doing happy hour CPR at my house every 6 weeks. I organized a party for the doctors that we're doing next month. I organized a party for the EMS that we're going to be doing. I've organized a heroes reunion with the man who did the CPR for 12 minutes for my son. He was out for 28 minutes, but the gentleman who did CPR for 12 minutes, that is not easy. But anyway, so we're doing all these things, but I'm being very conscious of, at the end of the day, my responsibilities are to my family and to my clients, and I'm not trying to be the bike club president. So there are ways that you can still stay focused and yet do a lot of things.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think what's powerful about this story, and I want to make sure everyone kind of thinks about this, you don't have to have something like your 2 children and your family have a heart issue and then become passionate about heart health. You can be passionate and be about chess and join a chess club and and get involved in that. I like golf. I'm going to join a country club. So then I'm going to be part of the women's golfing league that we meet once a week. That you can find your thing.
Yes.
And be so good at it, but not be the bike president, right? The bike club president, because we don't want it to be, oh, you're such a great volunteer for heart health. It's, she's amazing. We know, and trust her. Her son went through so much. And oh my gosh, she's an amazing real estate agent. That's where we want to make sure we keep this focused.
Yeah. And I would say the other end of the spectrum too is, when I first started my career, I'm just a hand raiser, but I was volunteering 10 different places. And I started to realize, gosh, I was seeing people once every 2 months versus the more focused I got on, what my things are, the better it was. And now, in this heart world, I mean, I think every pediatric cardiologist knows me, knows my family, and even adult, cardiologists too. And so I think it's the deeper you go in whatever you're passionate about, it can be beneficial, whether it is chess or puzzles or, anything.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I kind of want to change gears just a little bit, Christine. And you and I have talked about this before. So this is something I think the ninja world needs to hear, that after the April podcast, I got a lot of feedback saying how much, number one, they loved you, and how much, oh my gosh, that I can't believe what Christine went through, and wow, what her story really touched me. But the other thing that was a consistent feedback from it was, oh my gosh, Christine is a perfect ninja, perfect in quotes. She is a perfect ninja.
No.
And I'd love to hear your take on that.
No, you know what? I am not a perfect ninja, but I have the perfect ninja mindset. So much that it guides my personal and my professional life. And I believe that is obtainable, you know? And if you look at the way in which the ninja book is written, a large portion of it, and the first part, is really mindset, you know? And once you can really get your mindset into it, you may not be able to do the Ninja 9 every day. And sometimes you may fall off the wagon a little bit, but if you can get that ninja mindset, that's really the key. And I didn't even realize it was so ingrained in me as when, you know, I'm in the hospital and there I am, you know, the go-givers kicking in, the Ninja 2 are kicking in and all these things. And that's, you know, perfect ninja mindset, but not the perfect ninja. And there are things that I do want to work on, and I'm going to take another installation. And every time I read the book, I find new things.
So Christine, when you say that you're not a perfect ninja, what do you mean by that exactly? Because I want to give the audience like a break and make sure they're not like giving themselves a hard time if they miss one day of doing, you know, or 1 week of
Yes.
doing the Ninja 9, right? So
for example, I do not like doing real estate reviews, and I honestly have not done them in a year.
and I know your coach is working with you.
I am really trying, and we're talking about real estate reviews a lot.
It's a mental block for some reason, but we're getting over it. So that would be an example. I mean, that's one of the core 9, and it's one that I just don't do. So, but if I were a perfect ninja, I would be doing that, you know, but
2 a week.
I'm warming up. But there are other things I do.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so everyone in listening, you have permission to not be perfect, but you need to do your real estate reviews.
Yes.
Want you doing that?
Yes.
But to your point, Tracy, I appreciate this topic coming up because sometimes people say, well, she can have that success because she's perfect and I'm not perfect, so there's no way I can do that. Well, you're admitting right here on the podcast that you're not perfect, but you stay true to the mindset all the time. That's the thing that's consistent for you.
And, you know, the other thing is there's so many simple tools that we can rely on. And after we got out of the hospital, I mean, to be honest, my brain was kind of squirrely. I'm not sure. I haven't really had that before. And, you know, I just thought, okay, what can I do? And it was, hey, time blocking. It's telling me what to do. I don't even have to come up with the idea. I'm just going to look at my time block and I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. And so these simple tools can really help us. And so I'm just grateful for Ninja, but I'm really hoping nothing bad happens to me again because I think I've had my fair share and I'm ready to just keep doing my Ninja without any dramatic life events.
Right. Yes, we want that for you too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's next for you?
You know, to be honest, I think I'm going to need to get an assistant. I don't want to, but you know, Ninja is really about focus and doing what you do best. And, you know, when I was in the hospital, I was talking a lot with our ICU nurse because somebody has to be there 24 hours a day to watch Beckett. And we talked a lot. And I was telling him that I'm so passionate about my clients and adding value and doing all these things, but I keep getting distracted by, you know, I just set up an S Corp and that took me a lot of time. And then there's just these administrative things and I don't like them. And I realized, why am I not hiring an assistant? You know, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I think that's really the next step for me. Obviously, I'm going to keep doing Ninja. I'm going to do an installation and I'm going to reach my goal.
Yeah, you are. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Keep doing what you're doing and with Tracy's help. And absolutely.
Yep.
Love it. Appreciate it.
And I'm going to make Austin one of the safest places for teens in terms of heart health.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you will. We believe that. Yeah.
Well, Christine, I want to thank you so much. There are so many reasons why I want to thank you. So let me just kind of go down a little bit of a list here. I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast twice. And because it is scary to be on the podcast. It is scary. You're putting yourself out there and also for being so vulnerable, sharing your numbers, sharing the stories, because not a lot of people would do that. And I want to say thank you for doing that. And I know the Ninja audience appreciates it too. So thank you for doing that. And also we in the Ninja world are so lucky to have you as a Ninja that you are, to me, are just absolutely amazing. So thank you for being a Ninja and thank you for being on the podcast. And thank you for gracing me with your presence and being coaching with me since 2022.
Oh my goodness, you took the words out of my mouth. That's what I should be saying to you. Thank you, Tracy. Oh my goodness, I'm just so grateful for you and for Ninja. And actually, even my husband, who's not a realtor, has read the Ninja book and he's implementing Ninja in his life. So,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, so we're so grateful. So thank you.
I'll echo what Tracy said. Christine, thank you so much for coming on again and sharing what you shared. It's so inspirational. Tracy, thank you for having the idea to bring her back. You came to me and said, you're not going to believe what happened. we have to bring her back. And you're exactly right. So you gave so much value, so much inspiration. Thank you to both of you. Thank you, everyone, for engaging and tuning in and listening. We so appreciate it. We look forward to connecting with you on the next podcast. Take care. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com to learn more about ninja selling classes and coaching to get you started or further your journey on the ninja path.
Thank you for joining us. Now go have an incredible day.